Right guys, I don't know what you can see, whether you can see what I'm talking about, or you can even see me when I'm talking about it. But I'm just going to tell you a few little things now. Okay, so right, this is obviously the edge shed. The edge shed, well, you're looking at the E-Type. Now this video is going to be about the fact that the roof, I couldn't save it. Fortunately, I managed to get hold of a roof skin that didn't have a sunroof, which I'd love to have put the sunroof back in. But the problem was the sunroof profile of the Scimitar is not the same profile as the roof that I've now got. So the roof I now got turned out to be better than the one I had, but it's still got rust, which has caused me an awful lot of problems. And I mean, I'm talking serious, like suicidal problems. So that's just obviously like from, just to tell you that it's been a pain. Now, the rest of it, not too bad. Lot of problem with this brake conversion. For all the people out there who actually talk the talk, I know, I'm telling you, I did a Volvo 240 calipers on the single disc, and I've done so many of them, and I've got lots of cars with them, which you probably never see. But anyway, I've got lots of cars. Now, I thought I'm going to try a vented disc conversion on this one because I put large calipers on the back, and it ain't. It is the discs are wrong. You can't alter it, and it's just hard. So at the moment, that's like really causing me a lot of grief. So I'm not giving up. I've got some ideas. I just every time the machining costs like 10-20 quid. So I can't have it all done at one time in the hope that it's going to be cheaper, because if it gets it wrong, then it's not going to work at all. So I've got my new discs. I'm going to machine them. I'm going to machine down. Not enough. They needed 3.5, and they only took 3 out. So they're still rubbing. The wheels still fit on with the calipers, so that's not an issue. It's not the caliper size that's the problem. It seems to be it seems to be that the offset on the disc is the problem. Now I tried to get hold of some of the well-known people who manufacture, like the all these people that say, oh yeah, we do these conversions, £1,000, £1,900. And I thought, I'm just going to say, look, I got one of your conversion disc components. How much are your discs? And I was thinking like that might be quite an interesting one to see what they say, because they made their money out of selling you the idea. And the reality of it is, none of them are answering their phones. So, at the moment, I'm still wallowing in self-pity over the disc size and the fact that they won't fit. But, on the good news, that you can probably see, the Webasto sunroof I actually had in stock I was going to use, which was a Tudor Webasto, which doesn't use the wood frame. It's not the right profile for the roof that I put on. And I've done the roof now. I cut the roof off, welded it up. Sorry, I got a chance to get hold of a roof, so I thought, well, if I get hold of a roof, it was as rusty as mine, but it wasn't as rusty in places. So, and I had enough of it to come down halfway down the pillars, so that's what I did. And I was going to put the Webasto sunroof back in it, but the Tudor or whatever, I can't because the profile's wrong. Now we did have a test fit yesterday on the windscreen, and it fits perfect. So from that point of view, the windscreen fits perfect. The roof's on. We have got some video of me welding it on. I just joined at the top of the B post and across the back, the hatch. I did this minimal amount to get involved in it, because I didn't want to get involved in loads of welding. And fortunately, because the floors and the sills and everything was so good, it didn't make the slightest difference. Nothing altered. None of the gaps altered. I couldn't believe how strong I made this thing. I think in the event of a likely event of a head-on impact, this thing's more like a tank. So we're on to the wiring, which is the other thing which is causing me a problem, because it's got loads of things that obviously they don't show up in the books, and I do feel sorry for people who are trying to wire one of these things up with a new loop, you try wiring up the original loop, which there's nothing wrong with, other than the fact it's a bit, it's a bit old, faded, and I don't think it's going to make any difference. So what I'm going to say is that I'm using what I can, and I'm finding loads of problems. For a while we were struggling with the control box for the alternator, which, because I'm putting a later alternator on it, the control box is integral, so I actually don't need to have the rectifier unit. But the wire of the rectifier unit is intrinsically wired into the system, so that's caused a bit of an ordeal. Got that sorted though, got that done, rewired that, got that. Got the ignition light sorted, so we've got a light, we know when the ignition's on. The Jaguar ignition system wire ignition lock and assembly are incredibly fragile, and the one I had was no good. So I've done a little alteration there. So look away. Don't look. But the rest of it, no. We had an idea, obviously, on the thing was the idea of the ignition, the stalk, the indicator stalk, and came up with a couple of options, and they all work. Between the brakes, steering column, other than the windscreen fitting perfectly, not much is actually transpired. But tomorrow we're hoping to get a whole day. So tomorrow, maybe, maybe, we'll get a lot more done. And all the gauges work, the temperature gauge works, the oil pressure gauge works, we even found the horn wires, but the wiring colours have just gone, it's just all braided. And it's all scrap, I know it's scrap, we know it's rough. It's an original car, that's the original loop. And I'm going to try and keep as much of it as I can, because, this has been inspected by DVLA. The reason is because they wanted my number plate. Good old DVLA wanted the number plate off this car. They wanted it with a passion. And I'm going to have to go it's the guy's name who caused all the problems. Because he seemed to have a personal vendetta to get that number plate. And I don't know why. Possibly because they get a commission maybe, or a kickback. I don't know. But what I'm going to say to you is, he said to me, and this will make you laugh, you could put that number plate on any E-Type. And I thought to myself at the time when he said it, I thought, well, you're right, you could. But the reality is you've got the chassis number denotes what it is. And the car itself is totally original. So wouldn't it be better, that you, instead of talking to me like an idiot, why don't you come and inspect the bloody thing? So they sent out their senior inspector, who looked at this car, and he said it's the most original unrestored 2+2 he's ever seen. And as such, I kept my number plate. So that's why I'm not doing a concourse restoration on it, because otherwise the DVLA will take that number plate off it, because they'll go, it's no longer the original vehicle. So for all the people who've been saying silly comments, it's not worth doing it, whatever, you're right. It isn't worth doing, but it's worth doing to me, because I bought that car with that number plate all those years ago, and I always had the idea to do, make a kit car out of it. Maybe make a lightweight replica. Maybe make a lightweight replica on fuel injection out of aluminium, with an aluminium bonnet, body monoshock and all that. And then I suddenly realised that I'd just have a kit car, wouldn't I? I mean, it'd be a very lovely looking kit car, and it might look great. But according to the DVLA, it'll be a bloody kit car. So, as far as I'm concerned, when they said to me, this is the most original car they've seen, I've got to keep it original. Hence the use of all the original pieces. Hence the original, keeping it the original colour. Because the original colour was red. But the problem with red, I don't like red on E-Type. And to be honest, I like white. So, and it was originally white. So it was originally red, it was painted white. But it's white, they changed the logbook to white. So I've got to keep that, because otherwise I'll go, oh, what have you done? You've changed it. Oh, no, it's not an original car. Because they have got this impression that all the people that are restoring these cars have all got lots of money, have all more, I don't know, they just think that Martin Roby's God, and they just want to spend money on new bars. So that makes a problem for the genuine enthusiast, because if you enjoy the car and you love it, I don't want to buy it all new. Jesus Christ, there wouldn't have been a bloody point in that, especially on this, because you're right, it ain't worth it. But that number plate was worth it at the time, but thanks to who knows who he is, he made it a non-transferable number plate. So what's really lovely about it is that number plate on this car is stuck on the car. Well, you've inspected it. I haven't done anything other than just bodge some flaws in it, and I've kept all the original parts. So my number plate will stay with my car. And at the end of the day, guys, that's what I did it for. I didn't do it for anybody else. I did it for me. I did it because at the end of the day, I wasn't going to give the satisfaction of just thinking they could rip the plate off my car, sell it for 20 odd grand, and what? Well, the car's worthless, as we've all heard. So, now, as it stands at the moment, I'm not, I spent a bit of money on it. Not as much as most people would imagine, because I have cut a lot of corners and used a lot of bits, and I'm using a lot of original bits, and I'm not reusing it. I mean, the carburetors, I don't want to buy another rebuild kit. The carbs that were on it were no good. They were just seed solid. So I used the set of carbs I had, which I'd already rebuilt with something else. And it doesn't matter. I don't necessarily need. I've got the triple carb set. I keep looking at it in the shed. And when I get round to it, if I live long enough, I'll rebuild it and I'll put them back on. Until then, I'm going to make do with those. Because I don't think it's going to make most difference to anybody. And I think what makes me laugh about it is that, this thing is a turd. It's an original turd. It's an old wreck. But it's my old wreck in my shed. And it still makes me happy. Alright, after I had a drink. But it does make me happy. I do love them. I think they were the most beautiful car ever designed. And I think it's what's sad is that we used to be world leaders of British, like the idea of cars, design and that. And we had all the places and all the factories to manufacture the crap. But we lost it. And I don't think until they came out maybe with that F Type, they even ever got close to recreating this. Well, I think that's the truth. And I think they maybe, but then the world's changed. So there'll be like an F Type electric that can do 20 miles on a battery. What they don't realise is that the infrastructure for electricity isn't there. And the electric cars, they don't really work. So I'm glad that in my twilight years, hopefully, there'll be enough money left for me to buy petrol, alcohol, and enjoy it. And then it can all go, I don't know, it'll survive. It'll never die. It's immortal. They're immortal, these guys. They are immortal. They are the immortals, because beauty is always wanted to be survived. But it's in the eye of the person looking at it. And you're right, maybe the kids of today look at this thing, it's just rubbish. And they probably do. But the truth is, I can look at like any car and I like it. I don't care whether it's a bloody Nissan Skyline or a Subaru Impreza. To me, every vehicle is beautiful in its own way. And some of those cars are just as good. In fact, not 20 times better. But they aren't these cars. They're not this generation of car. And you have to be able to appreciate the past to be able to look at the future and say, well, these are going to be modern classics, because all them Imprezas and them Skylines and those bloody, Evos, they've already become collectible. 240Zs, they've been 260s, they become collectible. And what's really strange about that is that if you said at the time, nobody would have thought that. And nobody ever thought any of this stuff's going to be worth anything. It was only worth anything to the person who enjoyed it, the enthusiasts. And you had to be enthusiastic. And that's what we lost. We lost the enthusiasts, we lost the people. We ended up with a group of elitist people who thought that, I'm going to build a replica lightweight, I'm going to build it round an original car. What they never realised was the DVLA were making them tax number 2 exempt. We were actually targeting at all the people who built things like that because they were trying to pretend they were genuine, and that's what's gone wrong with original cars now. There aren't any, and there's very few, and most of them are brand new cars, and because they're brand new, they consider all those parts new. And if those parts are new and they were made in 2020, 19, 2008, something, then they're not historic. They're not 50 years old, are they? And it's sad. So those idiots, for their own ego, they think they're driving around in what they think they are. What they think they are, like bloody Sterling Moss. I mean, honestly, it's horrible. Because what's happened is that the enthusiasts that love the cars because they like the car have been driven out of this because, A, the prices got too high, and then you got the egotistical twats that spent all this money to build I built a C-Type around a genuine XK120 Roadster identity. Yeah, so what you should have done was built the genuine XK120 Roadster, and why did you build it around a C-Type idea, 120 idea? I don't understand that, it makes no sense, because what you built was a kit car, and you tried to pretend it's historic. So this is why the DVLA have got involved, because they realise that people are passing off things to unsuspecting, gullible people as being real. And that's where it's gone wrong. There's very few unrestored cars out there, and that's what's sad. And the unrestored cars out there, everybody wants to buy. And if you ask them why they want to buy them, they say, because I want to have it restored to like new. So go buy one like that's new. Because in reality, you don't appreciate the beauty of the car. I know that sounds really bad, but you know, these cars, at the end of the day, they're just cars. But to me, they were one of the most beautiful things I wanted. I wanted one so bad. And I don't care how tatty, how rough, how many dents it's got. The simple reason is, I've got it in my shed and I can get in it and drive it. Now, if I had a really nice, shiny, lovely one, I would not ever drive it, never use it, never want to go out in it, and to be honest, I'd have one. I'm lucky, as you probably know. I've got more than one. So I said, yeah, you can have one good one, said all that rubbish. Yeah, I could. You're right, and you haven't seen 20% of the cars I've got. And I bought every bit of crap I could. Because, why not? Nobody wanted them. They were worthless. They were cheap. Everyone said, oh God, yeah, like E Type, nobody wants it. And this, 2+2, Series 2, Christ, it was in sable automatic with steel wheels. It'd be like the kiss of death, wouldn't it? I mean, like, nobody would want it. But the reality is, it's a genuine right-hand drive, Series 2, UK supplied car. I've even got the sill plates for it, which is quite interesting, which I will put on it, actually, for a laugh. But you're right. If I restored it completely, the only thing I'd save off it would be what? The engine block, the chassis number, and I probably wouldn't, you probably wouldn't save it. You might save some of the suspension, but you probably wouldn't. You'd buy it all new. So you have a new cage from Roby. Alright, it's got on drive shafts. I know that you probably spotted that. It's got an early '61 drive shaft in it. That should be really good for the people out there who've got a '61 E Type and trying to pretend they've got a '61 and they want fat drive shafts. Well, there's one in here. Along with the gold chains. So, I don't know whether my boy will make a video out of this. I hope he does. But what I'll say is that, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm sorry. I've owned it a long time. And I have a lot of cars. And I've robbed bits of it over the years. And, some of the bits I robbed off it were one of the drive shafts. So I feel really guilty about it now. Because the car I robbed the drive shaft is actually behind me and you've never seen it. So you will do one day. But at the moment, I had to put a 61 drive shaft in this. Now you go, well, why didn't you put them into your 61 car? Well, my 61 car's already got them. So do I need it? What, all right, okay, let me get this right. Well, it's a really valuable drive shaft. You go, yeah. Yeah, it is. You've got a 61 car. But I haven't got a 61 car. I've got a 1970 2+2, which uses the same drive shaft. And I'm not going to sell the drive shaft to buy a drive shaft because you know the old announcer goes, that drive shaft sees solid as you see in the videos. And they go, oh yeah, it's not worth it. No. But we've got a good one out of a Series 2 2+2. And we want £500 plus VAT for it. You go, yeah, alright, okay, so let's do it this way. I've got a drive shaft. It's in the car. It'll work. I don't care. And I could have given somebody out there with a Mickey Mouse Series 1 car. They're trying to build a Series 1 61 car with inset louvers, flat floors, and fat drive shafts. And I could have said, yeah, hey, there's a drive shaft. But the problem with that is if they actually had the car, they'd have the drive shafts, wouldn't they? So you then go into the analogy that they haven't actually got the car, they're making it. They haven't never had it in the first place. They got an idea from somewhere, they're trying to make up a pretend car, they're trying to make the car, or hey, yeah, I'm going to make it, I'm going to get all this stuff. And actually it's really funny, because I don't know whether you saw there was a car advertised for sale, one of the things. It was genuine 61, September 61, 3.8 Roadster, all original. And he put some pictures of it. And it was really sad, because I'm sure the guy actually believed that it was. The only problem was the pictures that he put on were just horrific. Nothing was correct for a 61 car. Nothing. I mean, the pictures he took of it, he should have just got himself a book and looked at it. Now, it doesn't mean he's not got a 61 car. What he's got is a 61 car that's been altered over the years and made usable, drivable as the other stuff wore out or got thrown out, or you ran out of money and sold it out and bought something back cheaper because everybody wanted to buy the original bit. No, I don't have a problem with that. I don't really think that's an issue. I think the issue comes is that, when they're trying to pretend these cars are original, matching numbers, blah, blah, blah. Christ alive. I don't know. I find it hard to believe, where people have come up with scenarios of these cars and invented cars that were stolen in 1991 and found in the south of France in a barn. And because they paid the insurance company, they managed to get the identity back. I mean, and then the car drops off the radar with a bit of... And everybody knows it was bollocks. All of it was just bollocks at the time. And it's sad. But, as I said, most of my old cars are unrestored and they're going to stay unrestored. Because I just want to get in it, drive it down a bloody road. And if we get it done by June, then I'll be driving. I won't be driving this Chelsea wash. Sorry. No offence, mate. I won't. I'm taking my Roadster. I'm not driving this. But I wanted to get it. Just so that I can prove it to all the people who've gone out there and gone, oh yeah, it's rubbish, it's crap. Do you know what? Then don't watch the videos. Go and buy a good one. Go and buy a good 2+2. Because as you've already said, they're worthless. Nobody wants them. Which means you probably have got a field of them. Which I totally don't think you have. So anyway guys, that's a little bit of a rant from the Ed Shed. And whether you've got it or not, I don't know. But it might go with the video of me changing the roof. Because I didn't want to do it. I really wanted to keep that sorry. I really wanted to. But anyway, so hopefully if you got all that video and you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, then don't watch. At the moment we're at the stage where the car's actually starting to come together, and I'm hoping, I've had it running, so I think, but we're having trouble with the brakes. Anyway, so as I said, guys, like, subscribe, follow me about. If you enjoyed it, keep watching. I'm going to do this. If I can, I'll do it. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.